How do I start a partnership business? Hey everyone, welcome to Visibility on Purpose. My name is Bridget and Lydia. I'm the co-founder. Here is my co-founder, Lydia Bagarosa, and together we run Visibility on Purpose. It is a media training school helping impact-driven business owners land media, get featured in the press without hiring a publicist. We wanted to do a video about our business partnership. Now, both of us have 50-50 ownership in this company, and I know that this is something that people might think of. And we wanted to create a video that really illuminated this process for us so that if you are thinking about going into partnership and having a business partner, what are some of the things that you can think about prior to making this formal agreement? Because this is a marriage. You are literally getting married. And there are some important things that you should be talking about with your business partner prior to going into business together. We're going to set the stage. My name is Bridget, business partner Lydia. We are both around the same age, and we both actually went to the same college, although at different times. We didn't meet there. We actually ended up meeting in an online Facebook community that was called To Be Magnetic, and it was a spiritual community of sorts. Inside that community, we just started getting to know each other as friends. And we were talking through just some of our personal development and the journeys that we were personally both on. And then based on that, we started to have conversation outside of just, the To Be Magnetic spiritual world. And as we continued to get to know each other, we actually realized our work was quite similar. And this is that first point I want all of you to think about. Do you have similar values? Do you have similar work and work ethic? Because these things are important before you get into business together, okay? So in these conversations, Lydia and I are realizing, wow, we do similar work, we have a similar mission, we have a similar purpose, and we both want to make a lot of money, and we're pretty unashamed about it. And we also love the spiritual, energetic aspect to being a human. So right there, we realized and recognized that there are many things that connect Lydia and I together. So that first thing is looking at values, looking at work ethic, looking at mission, purpose, and passion. Because if there's a misalignment between those things, I don't know. It might not work, right? Okay, so that was step one. But before we even got into formal business together, because you have to open bank accounts, there's a lot of things that are going on here. You have to establish the business in whatever state you live in, right? We know there's business things. We decided to host a workshop together. And this would be the second thing that we would recommend for anyone who's listening, anyone who's thinking into partnership. Is there a way that you two can collaborate without all the formalities of business? How could you both collaborate before going into business together? So is there crossover in your work, and could you do a workshop or maybe put together a program? So we decided to host a workshop, and it was called Pitch Like a Pro and Rock the Show. Podcast, Pitch Like a Pro, and Rock the Show. That was it. We held this in July of 2021, I believe, and we both got together. We said, what is the vision for the workshop? Who do we want? We knew both of us are very good at messaging and copywriting and words, because she's a publicist and I work as a former publisher and brand message strategist. So words are our thing. So we knew exactly who this was for. We knew exactly the plan and the marketing strategy to bring the people in, and that's what we did. And a big thing to look out for in this step, when you guys first decide to collaborate in some way together, is work ethic. Because have you ever worked with someone in a school group or any type of community setting where someone does a lot more than the other person and it's annoying? Yeah, I have. The beautiful thing about Lydia and I is we're both really, really driven. And I'm speaking from my personal opinion, and maybe Lydia can share in a separate video. But this really stood out to me because I recognized and realized, okay, we both have something of value to bring here. We both have similar work ethic, similar drive, and when we set a goal, we're gonna get there. We know the steps to arrive there, and we're gonna do it. So this workshop really showed us that in a marketing and sales capacity, we are both extremely driven. And that was really important to me as someone who has done workshops or collaborative events with people and felt like people weren't quote unquote pulling their weight. So we did this workshop. It was financially successful and we had a great time. We're putting together good content. So we allow the relationship to continue to build from there. And again, at this point, there's no legal agreement. There's no business partnership. We literally were paying each other out from our own accounts. From there, we decided to host a program together. Again, still as separate businesses, separate entities, and we decided to host a program. And the main purpose of this was we had started to think and plant seeds for what would it look like if we had a partnership business. And we wanted to take it to the next step, right? We wanted there to be more money involved. We wanted to have more skin in the game. We wanted to both be focusing on sales. We wanted to really create something bigger. So we put our two brains together and created the first round of what is now this business, Visibility on Purpose. And the purpose of that was to beta test our work. We even offered it at a lower price point for our clients. And we brought 11 or 12 people into that program. It was 4 months together. It was exactly what we do here. It was a media training school teaching business owners how to pitch and position themselves in front of the media. They were learning how to pitch to podcasts, how to research for editorials, how to write a pitch, who to send it to, without hiring a publicist. So we put this program together and we realized we were onto something. You know, not only were our clients getting press features, we've had clients who now will text us and go, we have 22 podcasts. And we're like, this is amazing. So we knew that the work worked, right? We had the results, we had the client feedback, we were narrowing in our process. Based on that, we decided to, zoom out and say, what would we do different next time? So this was really a time for us to work on our communication skills, for us to again hone in on sales, marketing, and when we set a goal in the business, if we would arrive there. So these things were all important. So during that program, we really started to refine things. We ended up shortening the program. We ended up, trimming the fat out of the course and getting really clear on what we wanted to offer the world. And now this was the time when we really started to say, okay, are we going to start a business? Is this going to be a legal thing? And it was at the end of 2022 when we said, yes, we're doing this. In January of 2023, I went to Florida to visit Lydia, and we did a deep dive business everything. And this is really important because if you are thinking about starting a partnership business, communication is going to be one of your most crucial, critical, and essential pieces to go into business together. It's just like a marriage, truly. You have to be able to communicate crystal clear communication, of course, with your love partner, and then of course with your work partner, right? And there's money involved. It's all those same things. So we wanted to make sure we did a couple of things and nailed down what was important to us before we went through with this next big step. So here are some of the things that we thought about. What are some of our goals and what do we desire? Obviously, we want to be on the same page. We wanted to know and hear how we each work. Now, we both are into, I'll call them languages, right? So astrology, human design, gene keys, and these ways of learning about ourselves, we feel like they're very important personally, and they of course impact a relationship professionally. Now, to give you an example of this, I'm a generator in human design. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll put a link in the description of this video where you can go get your human design reading. It basically teaches you how to use your energy to work through the world. So I'm a generator in human design, and I have a lot of energy when I'm lit up about something. I can go for a really long time, hence me being a distance runner. Lydia is a manifester, and a manifester in human design is really good at initiating and going forward. So learning how we both work was really important because I've vocalized, hey, Lydia, I need a to-do list. I need goals and I need a to-do list, or else I have no idea what's going on. And she needs a little bit of her own direction, but then she just goes in her quiet cave. And this is important for us to understand about each other because then we're obviously going to be able to understand, okay, what's happening when, Lydia's in her little bubble. That has nothing to do with me. She's in her zone. You know, what happens when Bridget feels frustrated or like she can't focus on anything? Oh, this is a great time for Bridget to have literally a to-do list. And I said to Lydia, I don't mind when you tell me these are some things that would help us to get done. I actually appreciate that. So again, it's coming back to communications. And beyond that, we had tough conversations. I'll never forget it. We were driving from the west coast of Florida to the east coast of Florida, or vice versa, east coast to west coast of Florida. And we brought up some of the things that made us fearful around partnership and our insecurities. And I am really proud of us for doing this. I want to really reiterate to you, if you are going to start a partnership business, have the tough conversations now. Even if it feels weird to get out of your mouth, having these type of tough conversations are going to really, really help you in business. Okay, so we talked about, what were some of our fears around working together? And here's an example, right? Feeling like one person would do more than the other and the other wouldn't feel bad and guilty. So just vocalizing this, just bringing the awareness to these topics, it helped both of us. We felt seen, heard, respected, right? All the basics of human nature and communication. And I'd say that that's probably what most people avoid. They don't want to have the tough conversations. So they'd rather just get into it, get into the relationship or whatever it is, and hope it goes well. You know, then we needed to talk about money. We needed to talk about paying ourselves. We also needed to talk about an exit strategy, right? So what if one of us wants out of the business? What happens then? What if we both want to sell the business? What happens then? We wanted to cover all of our bases before going into a legal partnership with each other, because any money that we make in visibility and purpose is split 50-50, right down the middle, right? We share bank accounts. So having someone that you trust, having someone that you can relate to, having someone that you like as a human, I don't know if that's usually talked about in business, but having someone that you like as a human, you respect, you adore, you admire, you would love to hang out with them and have some coffee. You know, all of these things are important before you go into a partnership with someone. I do think that most, if businesses fail, especially business partnerships, it's probably around money. It's probably around miscommunication because people are not on the same wavelength. So if you're listening to this today, I hope that you've taken away some of the most crucial and critical parts to starting a business. Now, Visibility on Purpose is a PR media training school, so it doesn't really have anything to do with a business partnership, but we wanted to give everyone a behind the scenes look at how this business is structured and how we came into business partnership, because it wasn't overnight. It was through many years of building a relationship, of communicating, of practicing, of trialing, of literally testing our skills of working together. And at this point, we are so grateful to have each other in business. We have that person to talk to speak to, and I understand at the same time, it's not an easy move for everyone. So if you're listening to this today, you've got this. Take this information and go have those hard conversations with your future business partner and maybe even your spouse if you're listening to this, because a lot of it is related to relationships in general. Thank you so much for being here. If you do not follow us, go follow Visibility on Purpose. We're on Instagram. This is our YouTube page. Please give us a like, a subscribe, and a follow, and comment along. We'd love to hear what your relationship is with your business partner, or what questions do you have. Thanks so much for being here, everyone.